Hello Simmers, welcome to my channel Simsational Builds. In case you don't know, my name is Deb and thanks for joining me today for another speed build. I've also got a bit of a mini tutorial in this one as well on how to make a mountain. So this one here is a little bit different. This is actually a speed build for a villain castle, so specifically going to be a Disney villain castle. My next video upcoming is every room is a different Disney villain. Now I've previously done every room's different Disney princess challenge, and I'll pop a link above for you there. And when I first did that one, it actually didn't do that well. It wasn't particularly popular, so I sort of abandoned the idea. But since then, it's actually grown into one of my top 10 videos, so I thought it might be time to revisit the idea. I did even mention in that video that I might do a villain one day, so today is the day, and I have just finished putting together this castle that will be the base of that challenge. So if you're interested in watching that, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because this one here is a doozy. It's something really different, and I tell you what, it was pretty hard. So keep an eye out for that one. But as you can see, I'm building my castle itself. So just to sort of start off the whole tutorial side of things, the main part of it will be a little bit later in the video, roughly at about the 16-minute mark, where I'll actually make it look like a mountain. But at this stage, to start off with, before you do anything else, is that you have to create the base of the mountain by raising the terrain using your terrain tools into roughly the right height and shape that you want, and then building your house or whatever it is that you're doing on top of it. So finish off your house, finish off your build first, and then actually make it look like a mountain. So that's what I'm doing here. Now, I went into this with, although I had a vision in mind, I didn't have a clear picture of exactly what I was going to do. So I do sort of go backwards and forwards quite a lot in this video, as I do with a few of my videos as well. I'm not one of those people that will plan something out to the exact T and, you know, follow that exactly. I'm a kind of person that, especially with a build like this, I have an idea and I just see where the build takes me. So in particular with this one, I knew I wanted it to have like lots of turrets and things like that. Again, just keeping with that whole evil castle vibe, but I didn't know exactly where I was going to put them or how high they would be or anything like that. So I do go backwards and forwards a little bit, and it does look a little bit weird at first, but please bear with me because I am so excited about the finished product. It has turned out so well. I'm really excited about this, and I can't wait to see it wait for you to see it in the next video when it's properly finished off as well, with all the lighting and everything. It just looks awesome. So I haven't gotten into the insides, like the layout or anything like that with this video, because it will be in my next one. So keep an eye out, like I said, if you're interested in watching that one there. But so I do have to apologize. This is obviously a bit of a longer video, but I'm actually kind of proud because this part of the build, so not including the, you know, whole decorating each room or anything like that, just the building of the castle itself took me about 6 hours, and, you know, every minute of that was recorded. So I managed to fit 6 hours of recording into this 20-odd minute video. So might be a little bit quick at times, and I do apologize that if you're trying to follow along with what I'm doing. But again, because I go backwards and forwards quite a lot, I'm hoping that you'll still be able to get a gist of what I'm doing on what I'm actually trying to achieve as well. So the biggest thing about this one is this awesome lookout at the back, which I'm working on right now. So with those big windows, because I'm building this in Windenburg on that little island, it has the most ridiculously amazing views. And I don't care if you're evil or not, or if you're a villain or not, who does not want to have a home overlooking this amazing view of that ocean or river or whatever it's supposed to be, with the mountains in the background? It is just awesome. The other thing I really wanted was to have a sort of moat. So as you can see, it's got this weird shaped pool at the stage. Again, bear with me, it will work. It will look good. It just looks a bit strange for now. And I wanted to create a sort of like a drawbridge or something like that. Now, obviously, it's, you know, there are some limitations with that because this is The Sims. Nothing moves, obviously. But I think the look is there and the final effect is pretty cool. So this actually just reminds me, I do need to playtest this. I finished the whole lot off and then I haven't actually playtested it. So I have to make sure that they can actually get to the top. It will be functional by the time I upload it to the gallery. And by the time I have actually put this up on YouTube and you're watching this, it will be up. So if you are interested in downloading it for yourself, I will put up 2 versions for you. There will be just the shell, so just as it's finished off without any furnishing or anything like that. The inside layout will all be done. It just won't have the furnishing itself. And the reason for that is because by the time I finish the challenge, it's going to look ridiculous. I learned that the hard way with every room is a different Disney Princess challenge. It looks bizarre. Still cool, still has the effect of every room is a different whatever, but weird. So if you want to make this look like an actual castle that's, actually cohesive and, all flows together, then you can have fun with the build itself and make it into whatever you want it to be. But if you do want the funky version, then when I put that video up, that version will be up on the gallery as well. I mean, if you want a bit of a challenge for yourself, I'd love to see you make this into like a good guy castle or like a princess castle or something like that. I think that would be cool as well. But anyway, going back to the build itself, going backwards and forwards and things like that. And oh gosh, the camera kept flicking around as well. So the camera didn't like me building up so high and on so many levels, especially when I get up to those turrets. It just ends up, I'm trying to do something up the top and it keeps falling to the bottom as well. So if it does that to you, I do apologize. And like I say, I have a habit of flicking my camera around as well when I'm building, just to see it build from every angle. And when it's sped up, it looks even worse. So I apologize. I will try to get better at that as well. But you tend to get lost in the moment when you're building and don't really think about what it's going to look like on camera. You just sort of do what you need to do. Talking about YouTube, actually, on another note, is something very, very exciting that happened to me this week. I have finally, after what feels like so long, gotten into the YouTube Partner Program. Now, that's the moment we can actually begin to be monetized. And it's something that's been my long-term goal ever since I started YouTube. Obviously, we do this for fun. We do this to, enjoy, we all enjoy playing The Sims and things like that. But I'm a stay-at-home mum, and I, would love to be able to turn this into something more, and having that opportunity is just absolutely incredible. I know it is probably quite fast to, a lot of people, but for me, it has taken a long time and it's been, a bit of a struggle as well. So I just really want to take a moment and say thank you to every single person that actually follows me, is subscribed to my channel, and gosh, everyone that actually watches these videos as well. So from the deepest bottom of my heart, I say thank you so much. It's been a crazy wild ride, but I have loved it, every minute of it. And like I say, I just want to say big, warm, heartfelt thank you. I love you. Please keep watching. And I hope you actually really enjoy what I'm doing. Oh gosh, so like I say, I have a daughter. She's 2 years old. Absolutely, love of my life, adore her, but she is a handful, to say the least. She's about to turn 3, so just in a couple of months or a month and a half or so, she'll be 3, which is something that I just can't get my head around, but even so, there it is. And I have to come up with some sort of party. Now, what do you do for a 3-year-old? I mean, I suppose the ideas are endless, but and the good thing is also that where I live, there's not really any COVID restrictions anymore as well. I'm very, very fortunate where I live that we've seemed to be definitely, past the worst of it for us anyway, and for now, touch wood. But so that means I can have, as many people as I want, and there's no, space restrictions or other than, just logic and not being stupid about it. We can sort of do whatever we want. So I have no idea what I'm going to do, if I'm going to do it at my place or if I have to find somewhere else. It is the 1st of June, so it's, start of winter as well. So if it's going to be raining or what. So, sorry about my little rant. This has just been on my mind all morning. I've got no idea what I'm actually going to do for her. So wish me luck. If you've got an idea, please send them through. I'd love to hear about them, because I have 0 ideas at this stage and I'm kind of scared. On another completely unrelated note, as I'm just finishing off these towers and things like that here in my build, I've started getting to the point in my life where, so I'm a huge reader. I love reading books, particularly the fantasy genre, and I've gotten to that point where I'm no longer just buying books for the sake of buying books, if, not knowing the author, not knowing if I'm going to like it or not, and just liking it because, that looks cool in a bookstore. So I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to buy like books that I love and buying them in like collector's editions or special editions and things like that. And I've just opened up this huge can of worms for myself because I had no idea that this was a whole other world in itself. Like, zero idea. There are people selling some of these collector's editions for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I'm talking, it's not even weird to find a book for sale for like 150 US, 200 US, 300 US, totally normal. Like for a bunch of different ones, not just like one specific book. It's even gotten to the point where there's this one book that I was looking up and it's for sale for like $700 US on eBay. Like, it's a pre-loved book. I'm pretty sure this one was still in the original packaging. I think it was signed by the author, so it's like, the whole shebang. But it is insane to me, considering that I've never actually thought about this before. I've never considered it. I don't buy collectibles. I'm not one of those people that have, huge collections of anything other than, mugs, which my husband is not very happy about every time I come home with a new mug, but that's beside the point. This is something else that I haven't even touched upon before. So the problem is that I'm not so much interested in, it's got to be signed by the author and, it's, exclusive to only however many prints. I don't actually care that much about that. I want it because it's pretty. It's gorgeous and hardcover and embossed with like gold leaf and all sorts of crap, but it's pretty and I want it on my bookshelf. But I am not spending $200+ on a book. It's insane. Absolutely insane. But then I see it and it's for sale and I can get it and I'm like, do I want to spend $200 on this book? I literally have to hold myself back every time because God help me, like, if I catch myself in a moment of weakness, I might actually do that to myself and my husband might actually murder me. Like, for real, if you don't hear from me for a number of weeks, it's probably because I bought a stupidly expensive book and my husband has actually murdered me in my sleep because of it. So, I like fantasy, the fantasy genre, and if you are watching this video, it's quite likely that you like that genre as well, considering that I'm building a fantasy-inspired castle. So, initially I was reading a lot of Cassandra Clare's books. If you haven't heard of her before, it's the Mortal Instruments or the Shadowhunter series. Netflix did a truly, truly terrible adaptation of those novels semi-recently. I apologize if you like that series, even more so if you've actually read the books and still like that series, but that was atrocious. Truly, truly atrocious. They completely deviated in every single way from those books, and just made stupid, unnecessary changes. I logged off. I stopped watching after the moment when the Fairy Queen, who's supposed to be this, ageless, timeless beauty, sort of like chaotic evil kind of thing, chaotic neutral maybe, no, I would call her chaotic evil at worst. Anyway, and they made her like a bloody 12-year-old or something stupid, and I'm just, why would you destroy such an amazing book, such an amazing story with that mess? So anyway, I've recently got into Sarah J Maas's books, and holy crap, if I thought Cassandra Clare was good, this is on this whole other incredible level. I didn't even realize books like this existed, and I've been a reader all my life. If you like the fantasy genre, please do yourself a favor. She's got 3 different stories out now, so 3 different series. One of them, just the first book, has recently come out, and that one's called Crescent City, and that one is personally my absolute favorite. I feel like she's gotten better with every single series that she's written. So the first one was Throne of Glass, which was amazing, incredible, very intense, very much like with war and stuff like that, but a huge amount of like the love part of it, and, you know, she's an assassin and this and that. It's great. But then you start reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is more about like the Fae and that side of things. And holy crap, those books broke me. They were incredible. So the most recent book has just come out, A Court of Silver Flames. And that one, oh my lord. Seriously, if you haven't read them before and if you like the fantasy genre, go read them and then tell me what you think after you've been up for a week straight reading them without stopping and at night, because they are awesome. So anyway, I went off on a long tangent there and I do apologize, but my castle is very nearly done, at least on the outside of it, and I'm just putting on some final touches here. So as you can see, it has finally come together, especially with the black stone on the outside. Now this is extremely pack heavy, so I do apologize for that, but now that we're just finishing and tidying up, I'm just about to head into the tutorial side of things. So here we go. So as I start the tutorial part of it, it is, like I said before, a mini tutorial. It is very, very sped up because this part obviously takes a huge amount of time. It requires a lot of patience. But essentially, after you've done your build, after you've created the mountain itself, what you're going to want to do is start applying rocks. So the rocks are the basis of what makes it look like a mountain. Now, obviously in the debug menu, and you have to access the debug and live edit menu when you do this. I'll put up all the details on your screen, but there will be a huge amount of different rocks there. I specifically only use 1 or 2 of those when I'm doing this initial stage of actually creating it. When I start adding details, I use different ones, but for this, you'll notice I'm using the exact same rock. Now, there is this one in base game. It's the same shape. This particular one, I believe, is from the Cats and Dogs pack because the color is a little bit darker. It's more like a dark gray rather than a weird brownish color that's in the base game one. So I just prefer the color of it, but it is possible to do with base game. And the reason that I use that specific rock for 90% of this is because that one actually sinks into the ground a little bit. So especially when you're trying to build on this like huge high angle, a lot of the rocks sort of tend to look like they're floating above the air. But this one here sinks into the ground. So it's the easiest one to get it to look, you know, the most natural. Once I've got the base of it down, I can, you know, start filling in gaps with other rocks or start adding details with other rocks. So you'll see that as I'm doing it here. I'm adding some more to the side to make it look more like a mountain that's actually coming out of the ground rather than just plonked on top. And I'm starting to add these, you know, high, you know, twisting rocks. So these ones here are from the Realm of Magic pack, I believe, and I did use some from the Journey to Batu pack as well. Say what you will, that one has some amazing debug items, including rocks and things like that. So there's a bit of those in there as well to create that sort of like, you know, twisted, evil look going on with all the rocks coming up and around, almost like a dragon claw or something like that, if you can imagine it. So as you can see, I'm just putting those little details on the side, and now I'm starting to use different rocks. I'm starting to add these other ones that are, you know, just have a little bit more texture to them, just so that it doesn't look like I've used the same rock all the way around, and trying to put them a little bit closer to the build itself. One thing that I also really wanted to do was create a sort of outcropping at the back, and I know I'm working on the front right now, so you can't really see it, but I really wanted to have that big windowed room on an outcropping of rock. So there's the vague concept that I had from this particular build is from an image off Pinterest, which is this one here. And I just really love the idea of it being on this like sort of precarious mountain, precarious rock, where it's sort of, like I said, there's that outcropping and then it sort of almost goes concave or caves in a little bit like that at the back as well. So that was one thing that I really wanted to achieve. Everything else is just see where everything, you know, falls where it may, and just make it look good in the meantime as well. I added that little cave on the side, just again, it's not functional, it doesn't serve any purpose. I just thought it would be a cool little look, and I just wanted to also put a little waterfall on the side here. Again, just look like the water's actually coming from somewhere, but again, just now I'm just putting in those little details. I'm putting in that little front area where the moat is as well. So really, I know this is a tutorial, but for the most part, it's just patience and applying a absolute bucket load of rocks for a very, 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 very long time. With this, one of the best mods to actually download is Better Build By, which is by Twisted Maxi. I've mentioned it in a previous video, which is my top 10 CC creators and top 5 mods for builders. And the purpose of that particular mod is so that you can basically, all of the debug items are actually grouped and put into the categories where they're supposed to. So if you just go into your normal rocks tab, all of the different rocks will actually show up there, and you can also copy or shift click the debug rocks as well. So that made my life 1,000 times easier with something like that. And if this is something that you want to attempt to do, especially if it's something that you want to do more than once, it's something that I 100% suggest that you get as well. So that's probably the biggest tip I can give you, other than patience, time. If you think you've added enough rocks, keep going, add more. You can't really add too many with this one here. As long as the rocks are cohesive and try to use them all from the same pack so they're a similar color, that's probably the best thing I can say. So like I say, mini tutorial, not really tutorial, just sort of let you know what I did and might help you as well a little bit in future as well. But anyway, in any case, this is pretty much finished now. As you can see, it's got that really evil look going on. I didn't want to make it too vampire-y. I didn't want to use only items from the vampire pack, but there it is. You'll have a better look in my next video when I do my Every Room is a Different Disney Villain challenge. So I do hope you watch that one as well. But in the meantime, I would love to see you here again next time. So please give me a like and subscribe, and have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you.